Congratulations, you've set up your website, and that's a big accomplishment. The next step I want to do is I want to walk you through a few things that you can do to increase traffic to your website. That's a really big challenge that people who start their website have. So let's walk through some things to get you started on the right track. The items that we'll be covering in this video are, we'll do keyword research first. And once we do that, let's create a useful content outline for all of your articles. We'll apply SEO Basics to your website to make sure that it's seen in the search engines. We'll share on different social networks. This will provide the initial traffic that your site will need. And then we'll start an email list. So to get started, let's talk about keyword research. It's absolutely one of my favorite things to do when starting up a website because it allows me to go through and see what users are searching for in Google. And what you can do before you start keyword research using a tool, go ahead and take pen and paper. I know it's old school, but go ahead and take pen and paper and do a brain dump of all the topic ideas that you have and that you know about your business. This will really give you an idea of what all you're going to talk about on your website and let you kind of organize all of the ideas. So after you've done the brain dump, I'm going to show you two tools that you can use to get even more keyword ideas. So let's get that going. The first tool I'll show you is Ahrefs. If you're familiar with other tools like SEMrush, then you can use that, but I'm comfortable using Ahrefs and I love it, so I'll show you this one. And as I said before, it is a paid tool, but you can do 7-day trial for $7. And honestly, with a new website, that's going to be plenty of time and energy to really gather up a whole bunch of keywords that will take you years to write about. So the 7-day trial will probably work best for you, but if not, don't worry. I'll show you a free alternative in a minute. We're going to do the Keyword Explorer tool. And with this, you want to enter your seed keyword or the main keyword idea that your business is about. For instance, I'll put in plumbing as a seed keyword. And then what it will do is it'll go out and it'll do a few things. It's going to check the volume. That means the search volume. How many people a month type in plumbing? You'll also see the keyword difficulty. That's for how difficult might it be for your website to rank. The other thing I like about this is I typed in plumbing, but it's going to bring back a ton of keywords related to this topic. You'll see having the same terms it'll bring back. It also ranks for, that means a website that ranks for plumbing is also ranking for these other keywords. And you see the volume of the other keywords here. They will give you search suggestions, and then these are newly discovered. That means that these are new keywords that have just come into their database. So one of the first things I'll do when I'm doing my keyword research is I like to go down to the questions area. Questions surrounding your keyword topic are super helpful. You could write the answers to multiple questions on your industry and your site would become immensely helpful to anyone who's searching for that. And then these are all of the questions. There are over 25,000 keywords in a question form. The question form is who, when, how, why, what, and they're all pulled in. Since there are so many keywords, we can drill down and start to filter on some of these items a little bit more. What I like to do is if I'm a brand new website, then I want to make sure that my keyword difficulty is 30 or less. And again, these are estimations that these tools use to identify how difficult it might be for a website to rank. So to pare it down a little bit, I've added in the keyword difficulty of 30 would be the maximum. And now it brought back 408 keywords that I can write about. So looking at some of these, my main columns that I worry about are the keyword. Can I write about this topic? There's a very interesting parent topic. If you want to start categorizing some of your topics, then this gives you a good idea of that. You have the keyword difficulty, which is their estimation of how difficult it might be for a new website to rank for these keywords. The lower, the better for you. And then I also like to look at the volume. The volume is the estimated volume in a month that this keyword is being searched for. So it's estimated that about 700 people type in when was indoor plumbing invented. You definitely want to go through here and get rid of any that might not work for your website. Don't feel like you need to write about these things. So for questions, We have 408. I'll go ahead and click export. You can do a quick export here where you save it locally, name it something that has meaning for you. And now I have all my questions that I can write articles about. Aside from the questions, I like to go to all keyword ideas, and that'll bring out just a ton of keyword ideas for you. Again, I'll go to 30 as my max, and that's simply for the first round of articles that I'm going to write. I want to write for the maybe easier ones to rank for. You see that brought it down, but we still have a lot, and that's okay. Once we click export, it'll export the first 1,000 rows, and that is still a lot to write about. And like I said, if you don't have Ahrefs or if you're not interested, there is another great tool called Answer the Public, and it's a free tool. You can go pro, but it's a free tool. All you want to do is go in here, select your region or your language, type in the keyword, and get questions. And what Answer the Public is doing, say I'm going to open up Google and I'm going to show you. When you go in and you type in plumbing, you see that Google is doing an auto suggest. These are like the top keywords. If I hit a space bar and start going through the alphabet, then those words change. And I could do this all day long, and I'll see all the different topics related to plumbing. I can also do this where I do how dash plumbing and start going through the list as well. But that can be kind of tedious, and I might not want to spend all my day doing that. The other thing it'll do is when you do a search, Google has a tendency to bring back that people also ask for. So Answer the Public is doing all of that for you on their website. And what it does is it'll bring back all these questions, prepositions, comparisons, and it'll bring back the whole alphabet. And what you get is this great visual of plumbing and the questions related to plumbing that then you can go in and write these topics. Now, if you don't want to keep moving your head around, you can go up here and click data, and it'll show all of that in a data format. So you can see all of the questions that are being asked in Google. So then you know exactly what people are searching for, and you can answer those questions. So think about how powerful that keyword research is in doing that. And what you can do is go ahead and click download the CSV file so you can have it locally, and you can start going through this whole list and just answering all those questions and writing articles about that. So that is the power of keyword research, and it's probably one of the reasons why I love it the most. It's like a puzzle that you're putting together. Now, as much fun as keyword research is, there comes a time when you have to stop doing the keyword research. You've gotten all the keywords you can pull together, and it's time to start creating the useful content for your visitors. And this will be the bulk of your website. So in creating useful content, let's talk about a few of the things that you'll want to make sure that you do. First, you want to be thorough. It used to be that you could throw together 500 word article and it would rank okay in Google's eyes. That's not really the case anymore. How much information are you really gathering to answer the question or to give the information to your user? 500 is really not going to be it. Your minimum is probably going to be 1,000, and really in many reports that people have done, the top results on Google are actually closer to 2,000 words or more. Now, that doesn't mean to just fluff and add content in there even if it's not needed. Just be thorough, however long or short that is, to answer the user intent. The next thing you want to do is make sure that your content is readable. And let me show you really quickly what this means. Both of these articles on the left and the right are the same article, but which one would you rather read? When I look at the one on the right, I just want to run away because it's just a wall of text and I just can't see where I'm starting, where I'm ending. On the left, you have the content, you have a lot of white space. We break up the information with things like images, subheaders, numbered lists, bullet points, and all of this helps me to scan or read the content as I'm scrolling through it. So make sure that the content is readable. The next thing you want to do is once you've created the content, you've made it readable, you also want to create great headlines. And let me walk you through what I mean by this. Headlines are one of the most important parts of your whole article. In fact, there are people who will actually take the same amount of time that it takes to create the article to write their headline. And so let's look at this in detail. So if you're an expert in plumbing, you probably know exactly what your site is about and exactly what you're about to talk about. You want to say something like, you're doing it wrong. And then you're going to go into the article and discuss how to fix a leaky faucet or whatever the article is about. Well, that's okay. You know what the article is about, but the problem is Google doesn't know what the article is about. They see the content in your article, but it's not tying up with the headline. And so they're more likely to not rank you very high because they're just not sure what it's about. What you really want to do with the headline is you want to make sure that you have the keywords that you saw people are using when they're searching in Google. Make sure you have those keywords in the headline themselves. So let's try it again. How to fix a leaky faucet. Well, that's actually really good. It has all the keywords that the user will probably search for. And so it's going to satisfy Google. They're going to say, oh, the headline is about leaky faucet. It's scanning through your article itself. It notices keywords that are associated with fixing a leaky faucet. It says, okay, this is probably a really good one. I'm going to rank this and let people see it in the search results when they search for this. So you think you're probably done. Well, not exactly, because you're answering the question for Google and Google's going to show you in the results. But the problem is when a reader goes through and they're scanning through all of the available articles in the Google search results, so they're probably going to skip it because, yeah, it's serving the purpose, but it's not really exciting them on how it's going to fix their leaky faucet problem and how it's going to fix their issue. And what you can do to fix that is you'll want to add power words. OptimMonster has a great resource on their website, and it showcases 700 different power words that you can use for your headline. And I'll link in the description below so you can have it. So let's go back to our example and let's try it one more time. Okay, so let's try 8 easy ways on how to fix a leaky faucet today. And notice we put that in parentheses. Parentheses or brackets seem to give a little extra oomph for people when they see it. We're giving them different ways that they can do it. Are they going to be easy? Yeah, they're going to be easy. And that they can do that today. They don't have to wait for the weekend or some other time to fix their leaky faucet. So really take some time to go through and craft the perfect headline for your articles. Okay, once you've created your content and you've done a great job of your new headline, you want to apply some SEO basics to your articles. All that means is you just want to make sure that the search engines have a better chance of finding your articles. We already did that by making sure that the keyword is in our title, making sure that some of the keywords are all throughout our article. The next thing you want to do is if you have any images in the article, you want to make sure that the title as well as the alt text are filled out. This is great for SEO, but it's also important for accessibility. That's for people who can't see. They rely on readers to tell them what the images say with the alt text. You also want to make sure that you do internal linking. You're going to have more than one article, and you want to tell Google what all of your articles about. I'll give you an example. This is a guide on our website on how to get more traffic to your website. And throughout the article, we have links here. And you see when I hover over this down at the bottom, it says where it's going. So these are internal links on the website, and they do a little help to tell Google what this article is about. So this is the anchor text. It's also the keywords that I want this article that I'm pointing to rank for. And you'll want to do a lot of that for your website as well. It helps Google know more and more what your website is about. It also helps people if they're reading through the article, if they're interested in what you're talking about, that it's an easy way for them to click on that, to go to that next article and read that as well. One of the ways that you can help with your SEO basics is install an SEO plugin like the Yoast SEO plugin, and it just gives you green and yellow lights to let you know if you're on track for doing some of these things. If you want to go further than that, we have the WordPress SEO guide on our site that I'll link in the description so that you can see some of the other ways to improve your SEO as well. Great. Now that you've started creating articles and you have some on your website, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and start doing some online networking. This is kind of the same thing as if you're building a store in your town and you go to the local chamber of commerce to get your name out. You go to local conferences or local meetups and you hand out your business card, it's kind of the same thing that you want to start doing online as well. SEO takes a while, and it will take a little while for your articles to start coming up in Google search. So you want to help that out by creating social networks and really getting involved online if you can to help with this process. So like I said, you can create your social profile in the different social networks. If you're a local business, create a Facebook page, create a profile in Google My Business. Well, let me show you what Google My Business is. If I'm searching for a plumber near me, these results are because they are in Google My Business. So you'll want to set up Google My Business, especially if you're a local business setting up shop. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and get into some online communities. There are several Facebook groups. I would say Facebook pages you'll want to have for a local business, but I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time on your Facebook page because Facebook's algorithm has just changed that they really aren't wanting anybody to go off of Facebook. But Facebook groups are still really important, and that's for any industry related thing. If there is a town group, for instance, my town has a word of mouth group on Facebook that anyone can go to ask people's opinions on a local business. And then the local business owners can chime in there too. So see if there's a Facebook group for your community. Other search engines. What I mean by other search engines are Pinterest, kind of considered a social network, but it and YouTube are actually also their own search engines. YouTube is the number 2 search engine. So if you're creating a craft related or a visually appealing service, or if you have a visually appealing service or product, then Pinterest can drive a lot of traffic to your site. The same thing with YouTube if you have a service that you can do a lot of videos for. Also, go to a lot of Q&A websites. You have things like Reddit, Quora, where you can find what people are asking for and you can share your response and your experience with them. And then if it's related, go ahead and drop a link in there. Now, you'll also want to make sure that you're sharing useful information and you're not just going to these groups, spamming them with your links. Just provide value. I'll give you an example of something happened this morning. Someone shared in a blogging group the results that happened for him. He's part of a biking group and he asked for other people's opinions on the best tire pressure that they should have for fat tires. And everybody helped and gave them their idea. He went off and created an article that should be helpful for people looking for that information. He went back to his group and just shared the information, said, thanks for giving me your input. By the way, here's the link to the article that I wrote based on what you all said. And from just sharing that information and asking for feedback and help, he got 300 visitors that day. And it's a very new website, so it was pretty surprising for him to get that many visitors in one day just by being part of these groups and being helpful. And finally, let's talk about building an email list. You'll want to give your users a way to get on your email list by doing just a simple opt-in form that just has their name and email, and you tell them that what they'll be receiving once they get on your email list. And at a later date, even add a lead magnet. And I'll share with you a resource of several lead magnet ideas that you can choose from. But I would say to begin with, just go with the opt-in form and get it on your website. You can have it to where you put the opt-in form on at the end of every article. And I would even do this before you get going on the online networking. With an email list, you can continue to drive repeat visitors back to your website by continuing to send them emails when, say, you update your blog post. And that's really helpful to grow your traffic. In this video, we've covered 5 different ways to get more traffic to your website. And in the next video, I'll walk you through the 6 ways that you can generate more leads to your website. Did you learn today's video? If so, subscribe to our YouTube channel and we'll send more helpful tips to help you manage your WordPress website. And thanks for watching.